Okay, so I probably shouldn't be recording this. My head is pounding and I'm like halfway through a bottle of wine I definitely can't afford, but I have to get this out. I just saw a picture of her on Owen's story. She was laughing, you know? That big, ugly, wonderful laugh of hers, the one that takes over her whole face. And for a split second, my thumb went to reply, to say something stupid like, OMG, that face. And then it hit me again. The wall. The big, fat, digital wall she put up. So I'm genuinely asking anyone who will listen, what would you do? What would you do if your best friend of 10 years, 10 years, I mean, that's basically a common law marriage and friendship years, just deletes you? Like poof, blocked, gone, evaporated, all because of one single, completely misunderstood conversation. Fine, okay, maybe I could have phrased things better. I'll own that. I can be blunt. But to throw everything away? All our history. The late night drives singing off-key to terrible pop music, the breakups we got through together with tubs of ice cream, the cheap pizza on my floor when we were both broke and dreaming. All of that just flushed down the toilet because I tried to give her some honest-to-God advice from a place of love. Honestly, it feels insane. It's a massive, disproportionate, nuclear-level overreaction. I was just trying to look out for her, you know? I've walked the path she was about to step onto. All I did was try to give her the map, point out the potholes, and she acted like I'd personally set her car on fire. It doesn't add up. There has to be something else going on, right? It can't just be about what I said. It can't. Please tell me I'm not the crazy one here. For you to get it, you have to understand our group. Our little crew, you know, the 6 of us were tight. We've been this solid unit since college. And in that unit, for the longest time, I guess you could say I was the designated queer person. The pioneer. I came out first, navigated all the awkward family stuff first, went on the first disastrous dates with girls first. It made me different. Special, I guess. I was their queer expert, the one they'd ask in hushed, slightly thrilled tones, so what's it like? I was the one whose love life was always a little more interesting, a little more cinematic. Honestly, I leaned into it. I curated my stories for them, played up the drama, the romance, the heartbreak. It was my brand, my thing, and Neve was my hype woman, my press secretary, my chief of staff. God, it sounds so transactional when I say it like that, but it didn't feel like it. It was just easy, natural. When I got that promotion at the gallery, she didn't just organize drinks. She made a stupid, brilliant PowerPoint presentation titled Yasmin, Slaying the Patriarchy, one brushstroke at a time. When I had my heart broken by that flaky musician, she didn't just show up with pizza. She spent 3 hours helping me draft and redraft the perfect, devastatingly cool, I'm fine text. She was the first to like my Instagram posts, the one who would listen for hours while I dissected every single text message from a new crush, finding nuance where there was none. She was my person, my number one. Her role was to be my rock. And I was her exciting friend, the one with the stories. And her life was, you know, steady. Good job in accounting, a series of nice but boring boyfriends. It was comfortable. She was the anchor, and I was the ship sailing off to have adventures and report back. It worked perfectly. Her support wasn't something I had to earn, it was just part of the package of being friends with her. It was the air I breathed, the ground beneath my feet. I guess I never really thought about what her own story was because she was always so wrapped up in mine. It was just how things were. The sun rises, the sky is blue, and Neve has my back. It wasn't even a question. It was a fundamental truth of my world, which is why this whole thing is so goddamn confusing. She was my biggest supporter. So why couldn't she understand that I was just trying to support her in the same way? So, about a month ago, she asked to get coffee, just the 2 of us. Which wasn't weird, but she had this vibe. This nervous, vibrating energy, like she was a guitar string pulled way too tight. She was fiddling with her napkin, not just tearing it, but methodically shredding it into a pile of white dust. Then she looked up, and her eyes were so bright, brighter than I'd seen them in a long time. It was a little terrifying. Yaz, she started, her voice a little shaky but determined. I need to tell you something big. My mind raced. Okay, she's quitting her job to become a potter, or she's moving to Portugal. I was ready with the supportive friend's script, the "oh my god, that's so brave" monologue. But then she says, I'm going to tell everyone. this weekend at Owen's party about me, that I like women, that I'm gay. And honestly, the first thing I felt wasn't happiness for her. I know, that sounds awful, and even thinking it now makes my stomach clench with shame. But it was this cold, sharp jolt. An instant, visceral sense of infringement, like a territorial animal. My immediate, selfish thought was, oh, so now there's two of us. And I hated myself for it, I really did, but it was there, ugly and loud. My entire role in the group, my special status, just flashed before my eyes. So I went into damage control. My damage control. I put on my best, wise, worldly mentor face. Wow, Neve, I said, making my voice low and serious. That's a huge step. Are you absolutely sure you're ready for that? She just beamed, completely missing my tone. I've never been more ready. I feel like I can finally breathe, Yaz. I'm so done with hiding. And that's when I really went for it. I started laying it on thick, all this concern-trolling bullshit. I just want you to be prepared, I said, stirring my already cold coffee like I was some kind of guru. I mean, the timing, at Owen's engagement party. You don't want to, steal their thunder, right? Make it all about you. That could be a little awkward. She frowned a little, the light in her eyes flickering. I didn't think of it like that. And our friends, I pressed on, feeling a sick sense of momentum. They know me as the gay one. It might be confusing for them. They might not know how to act. People can be weird, Neve. They'll start comparing us, asking invasive questions, trying to set us up. God, it's a whole thing. I just don't want you to get hurt by all the stupidity that comes with it. Every reason I gave was wrapped in this fake, silky layer of concern. I was framing it as me protecting her, using my hard-won experience to shield her from the big, bad world. But it was a lie. I was trying to protect my spot. My little, unique, special spot in our universe. I just kept talking, building this wall of what-ifs and have-you-thought-abouts. And with every word, I could see that bright light in her eyes just dimming. It was like watching a candle get snuffed out in slow motion. And the worst part, I couldn't stop myself. She tried to push back, she really did. But I thought you'd be happy for me, she said, her voice getting smaller, losing all its earlier excitement. You're the one person I thought would just get it. You, of all people. That should have been my cue to stop. To see the deep, genuine hurt on her face and just shut the hell up and hug her. But her saying that, it felt like a challenge. Like she was questioning my authority, my hard-earned position as the group's queer oracle. All that ugly, possessive fear inside me just curdled into this disgusting arrogance. I felt this insane need to put her back in her box, the one neatly labeled, Neve, my supportive, uncomplicated friend. Getting it and being realistic are two different things, Neve, I said, and my tone was sharp now. Patronizing. God, I can hear it in my head right now, and it makes me want to crawl out of my skin. You're looking at this with rose-colored glasses. You have no idea what it's really like. It's not just holding hands at Pride and getting brunch. There's a whole political, social, a whole complicated landscape you're about to walk into. It took me years to navigate that. You can't just waltz in. She just stared at me, her mouth slightly open, a look of pure disbelief on her face. Waltz in? Yaz, this is my life. I'm not trying to join your club. It kind of is a club, I snapped back, my voice getting louder. And it has rules, it has history. You can't just show up and expect everyone to roll out the welcome mat. I'm trying to help you understand the stakes. I think I can handle it, she said, her voice quiet but firm, and that was it. That was the line. That quiet confidence, that simple refusal to be intimidated by my bullshit, just lit a fuse in me. All my insecurity, all my fear of being replaced, it all came out in this one, final, horrible sentence. I leaned forward like I was sharing some sacred, secret truth, my voice dropping into a conspiratorial whisper. Listen, Neve, I said, my voice dripping with this disgusting, feigned patience. I'm saying this because I love you. You are my best friend. But on this subject, I know more than you. You are like a teenager who just got their driver's permit and wants to immediately enter a Formula One race. You have no clue about the machine you're trying to operate. You're going to crash and burn. I'm just trying to protect you from making a complete fool of yourself and messing everything up for everyone. The silence after I said that was deafening. It was absolute. It was a physical thing in the air between us. I saw the exact moment the last bit of light in her eyes went out. It wasn't anger, not yet. It was something worse. It was a look of sudden, stark clarity. like a lens snapping into focus. Like she was seeing me, really seeing me for the very first time, and she didn't like what she saw. She just nodded slowly, a tiny, almost imperceptible movement. She picked up her purse, slid out of the booth, and left the cafe without another word. I sat there for a few minutes, my heart hammering, telling myself she was just being sensitive. She'd cool off. She always did. I sent her a text a couple of days later, something breezy and casual like, "Hey, you good? We still on for movie night Friday?" As if nothing had happened. The reply came back almost instantly. It wasn't a long, angry paragraph. It wasn't a call. It was just 2 short sentences. "Yaz, I don't need a manager to plan my life. I needed a friend. I think we're done." Just like that, we're done. So clean, so final. I stared at the words until they blurred. Done. After 10 years, it didn't feel real. It still doesn't. Of course, she did it anyway. At Owen's engagement party, I didn't go. I told everyone I had a migraine, but really I was just hiding. I spent the whole night staring at my phone, waiting for the fallout. Waiting for the confused texts, the "Hey, what's up with Neve?" messages. I was expecting, I don't know, chaos, drama. I expected people to be weirded out just like I'd predicted. But the texts never came. Instead, around midnight, Owen's Instagram story popped up. It was a group photo. All of them squeezed onto a couch, beaming. And right in the middle was Neve, her arms slung around Owen's fiancé, looking happier and more relaxed than I had seen her in years. The caption was simple, "So much love for our girl Neve tonight and always." Then another picture from someone else, a boomerang of them all clinking champagne glasses with her. Then another. And another. It was a flood, a celebration. There was no confusion, no awkwardness, just joy. They were all so damn happy for her. All that crap I'd spewed at her in the coffee shop, all my dire warnings about how complicated it would be, it was all bullshit. They just accepted her. Immediately, without question. The only person who had made it complicated was me. A few days later, I cornered Owen. I needed an ally, someone to tell me I wasn't crazy. I tried to play it cool. "So, wild news about Neve, huh?" I said, trying to sound casual. "Hope it wasn't too much of a bombshell at your party." He just gave me this long, unreadable look. He looked disappointed. "Why would it be a bombshell, Yaz? We were just happy for her." He shuffled his feet for a second. "She did say something, though. She said she was sad you weren't there." He paused. "She also said she felt like you were trying to keep her in a closet she was never even in, just so you could stay on your own stage." That hit me like a punch to the gut. Stay on your own stage. God. He didn't say it with malice, just this quiet sadness. And that was the beginning of the freeze-out. The group chat went quiet whenever I posted. Plans for brunch were suddenly just a few of us this time. It wasn't a big, dramatic excommunication. It was a slow, systematic turning down of the volume on me until I was left in total silence. They hadn't kicked me out. They had just formed a new circle a few inches to the left where I wasn't standing. The real kicker was the birthday party. Amelia's 30th. There was no way to avoid it without officially declaring myself a social pariah. So I went. I put on my best dress, the one Neve always said made my eyes pop, and I walked in there feeling like I was walking into my own execution. The party was in full swing, loud music, people laughing, and I saw her almost immediately. She was across the room, by the bar, telling some animated story to Owen and a few others. She was glowing, that's the only word for it. She looked lighter, freer. There was a woman standing next to her, someone I didn't recognize, and every few seconds, Neve would lean in and whisper something to her, and they'd both break into these private, easy smiles. I spent an hour making awkward small talk, my eyes darting back to her corner every 30 seconds. I was a ghost at my own haunting. Finally, I grabbed a drink and told myself, just do it. Just go over there and say something. Anything. As I got closer, our eyes met across the room. For a split second, I saw a flicker of something, surprise maybe, but then it was gone. She didn't look away angrily. She just gave me a small, polite nod. The kind of nod you give a coworker you barely know or a distant cousin at a wedding. It was polite. It was civil. And it was the most devastating thing she could have possibly done. Then she turned right back to her conversation, to her new girlfriend, to her friends, to her life. A life that was now moving forward, full of light and laughter, completely and utterly without me. I was a footnote in her story now, a closed chapter. And in that moment, standing there alone in the middle of a loud, happy party, surrounded by people who used to be my closest friends, I had never felt so completely, profoundly alone. My special status was gone, and I'd gotten exactly what I deserved. Nothing, just an empty space where my best friend used to be.